Hey, this is Charles Lewis.
Hello, photographers all over the world. This is Todd Lewis, and we are coming to you from Charles Lewis Photography here in Grand Rapids, Michigan. Well, I'm coming to you from Charles Lewis Photography. My father, on the other hand, is coming to you from an undisclosed location off site. He is wrapping up a much deserved vacation. Right, Dad?
Yeah, I had a great time. It's good. It's really an important part of your life philosophy to get away, to let your brain unwind, to get yourself focused if you need a little bit of that. You can't just work 100 hours a week every single week and expect to be creative on demand. It just doesn't work that way.
Yeah, absolutely. So I'm glad you're still able to come to us, even though you're wrapping up a vacation here. But we thought it would be better to have him on here and not having his, super high quality recording equipment, to be able to sound. He's not going to sound quite as good on this as he has on other videos. But we're great to have, very, very good to have you here, Dad, even though you're on vacation technically. So
Well,
let's jump.
thanks, Todd.
You bet. Let's jump right into the first section of our Lewis-sized kick in the pants video for this week. We always like to start with a motivating quote of the week, and Dad, I know this particular person has been very motivating to you over the years.
Yep.
Mark Victor Hansen, who said, quote, "Don't wait until everything is just right. It will never be perfect. There will always be challenges, obstacles, and less than perfect conditions. So what? Get started now. With each step you take, you will grow stronger and stronger, more and more skilled, more and more self-confident, and more successful." Again, that's from Mark Victor Hansen. Dad, I know you've studied his philosophies, his thoughts for many, many years. Anything you want to add to that?
Well, I had lunch with Mark many years ago, back before he had started the Chicken Soup for the Soul book series that have made him so well known and famous. And it was fascinating. It was just he and I, and we talked about motivation and goal setting and the drive it takes to be successful in any kind of a business. It was fascinating. And yeah, I've also am a great student of his as well, and read a lot of his writings, and he's very, very good.
Yeah, I mean, there's not much else to be said about a quote like this. To me, it really says it all. The temptation for some is to overanalyze, I think, and over prepare before even getting started on something. And what Mark's talking about here is don't wait until everything's perfect. You got to get started now. And Mark is a great. I should say, Mr. Hansen is a very great example of that.
Yeah, this isn't about doing things poorly or halfway. You still want to do your very best, of course, but if you wait until everything is perfect and you feel 100% ready, you'll never get anything done. What I always say in my classes is don't wait sitting in the driveway with your car engine running, and you won't back out of the driveway until all the lights, all the traffic lights between where you are and where you want to go are all green before you back out. They're never going to be all green at the same time. So you just go for it, you do it.
That's a great analogy, Dad. Absolutely. If we all waited for all green lights, we'd never leave our driveway. And
Yep.
think of your goals the same way. So, what I want you to do this week is to make one of your goals this week to start on your goals right away. Whether these are short term goals, medium term goals, or long term goals, get started on them right away. Always be moving forward. You will build momentum and you'll get better at what you do. So, thank you again to Mark Victor Hansen for that wonderful quote. Keep that in your minds as you go through the rest of this week. Moving on to our motivational exercise of the week. It is an exercise because motivation is like a muscle, in my opinion. If you keep exercising it, you'll get better and better at staying positive, staying motivated, energized, and moving in the right direction with your photography business. This week, what I want to bring to the forefront here is the recommendation of listening to something that motivates you while you work. The power of audio stimuli is wonderful for keeping you energized and motivated.
On projects that do not necessitate a certain level of complete focus, you can listen to some things while you work.
Right, this could be music. or spoken word, even stuff off of our Inner Circle online vault that will keep you thinking in terms of your photographic business. Motivational things to keep you, while you're working on perhaps, some Photoshop work. You could also be listening to something that's maybe motivating you in your photographic business, and the stuff on the online vault is a great way to do that. I personally like to listen to, first and foremost, I like to listen to something that's motivational, something that keeps me, the words of wisdom from people, Tony Robbins, Zig Ziglar, stuff like that I can be listening to while I'm working on something. But if I'm listening to something that needs a little bit more focus and direct attention, and I don't want anything, I don't want to be listening to something very specific, I like to listen to instrumental music, because there's no words, there's nobody singing words or speaking words, but it's just music that keeps my mood the right way and keeps me energized. And I have a huge list of it. It's usually, for me, movie soundtracks. I'll pop in the movie the soundtrack from Raiders of the Lost Ark, and I can't help but get energized when I listen to that music.
Yep. It's important to have your MP3 player loaded up with things that will keep you motivated, and listen to those things as you work, if it's, like Todd said, if it's not something that requires your 100% direct attention.
Yeah, Dad. Now you do the same thing yourself, right? Sometimes, I mean, I've seen you with your, it used to be your CD player in your office, and now you've got your your Droid and your iPod as well. So, you load it up with stuff as well, and kind of listen to things depending on what you're working on. So if this causes focus issues of any kind, try listening to something that's less distracting for you, or simply do not do this exercise. If it distracts you in any way, don't do this. All right, that's the last thing you want. But if it's helping to keep you motivated and stay on task, this is a great way to keep your motivational muscles exercised throughout the week.
Absolutely.
Our fast action marketing tip of the week this week is, don't be afraid to ask your prospect to do what you want them to do. Now, each week we're going to come to you with what I like to call a little fast action marketing tip, something that you can apply to almost any of the marketing that you're doing and improve it right away, something that's not going to take you weeks, months, years to implement. This is one you can obviously implement right away. Don't be afraid to ask your prospects to ask them to do what they want, what you want them to do. In my opinion, any marketing campaign is only successful if it gets the prospect to take the next step toward working with us while not feeling like pressure. We don't want to feel like it's pressuring them into doing something, or feel like a high pressure salesperson. But you do have to actively go after asking them to take that next step.
Yeah, this goes back to a lot of direct response marketing tips and techniques. You want to always make sure that with all the marketing you do, all of it, whether on your website or through email or social media or direct mail even, that you ask your prospects to take the next step. You must ask, never just assume. This is called, in marketing, a, quote, call to action.
Calls to action are vital. That's absolutely right. And that next step may be to call you, or to go to your website to request a special report, or to send you an email, or fill out a modeling form if you're doing kind of the modeling program. Whatever it is, be sure to clearly ask them to take that action.
Yeah, and always make it very clear what the benefits are that your prospect will gain when they take this specific action. You always want to talk in terms of benefits in your marketing, always.
So to end, go ahead. Sorry. No, you go ahead.
I was just going to say that, like, for example, you might want them just to pick up the phone and call you. Just take that next step. There's no charge. There's no obligation. You and I can chat, and you can find out all the great things that we might be able to do for you if you decide to hire us, or if you decide to have your family portrait created at this time. There's no charge. There's no obligation. We'll just chat. It'll be great. Give me a call. Here's the number, blah, blah, blah. That's a call to action.
So this week, take action on this marketing tip. Go through the marketing that you already have out there, especially your online marketing, because that can be changed instantaneously. And make sure that you are asking them to take that next step and asking your prospects to do what you want them to do next. All right, some quick words from another photographer. This wonderful message came in from a photographer just this past week, and I wanted to share it with everyone. It's in direct. It's directly involving these particular weekly videos. This came in from Pete Springer, who said, "These videos are awesome. At first I thought they were a little silly. Then I started doing everything recommended in them, including pausing and planning out my week, which we're going to do next. Now I literally look forward to them each week. Seriously, these videos are a great way to inspire and focus my photography marketing and business. Keep them coming. And just a side note, becoming a member of the Inner Circle is probably the best investment I've ever made in my photography business. It takes a while to implement some of your ideas/plans, but they really do work. Thank you. And again, that's from Pete Springer. And thank you, Pete, for that wonderful message. He and I have been messaging back and forth a little bit since then, and it's always great to hear from our members that are enjoying not only the Inner Circle, but also these weekly motivational kick-in-the-pants videos.
Yeah, thank you so much, Pete. That was very kind of you.
So he spoke about the, pausing the video and doing the planning of the week and the goals and so forth. Well, that's our next section, leads into that very well, our goals and planning. This is the time to take a look at your goals and your progress and plan out your upcoming week. So during this section, we want you to do all of those three things that are on your screen. Read your goals aloud, review your progress from the past week and make notes on how you did and any challenges that came up and how you overcame them, and then plan out this week. This is a very important part of this video. As Pete mentioned, it really, really works. So take as long as you need to pause this video. Don't you worry. We'll be waiting right here when you come back to hit the play button.
Right on.
All right, you're back. I hope you did as Pete does. Do what Pete does. Pete is doing it right. That's right. So I hope you did what he did and did all three of those steps. And let's move on now to our final thoughts for the week. We like to leave you with something to kind of take with you the rest of the week. And this is such an important point, I think, and that is to not ever let go of that inner child. That part of you that probably decided you wanted to become a photographer out of the love of photography. It's so easy to get bogged down in the day-to-day challenges of running any business, but we have to always remember why we got into that business in the first place. Don't let yourself lose that love, that passion, that desire to get up in the morning and do what you're doing. No, you may not always love every aspect of your photography business, but stay focused on what you're doing, on why you're doing what you're doing, and the parts of it that you do love. Dad, anything you want to add to our final thoughts for this week before we end this Kick in the Pants video?
Yeah, there are three things that will determine your ultimate success in the photography business. The first one is your attitude. There's no question about it. Your attitude is what determines your altitude. The second thing is your attitude. There's no question about that. The second thing that's going to cause you to be a success and determine how high you go in your business is your attitude. And the third thing, you probably guessed what I'm going to say, is your attitude. It's extraordinarily important. So what you put into your mind, how you spend time with yourself, alone, with no TV, no radio, no newspaper, nothing like that. Just thinking, writing in your journal, planning your goals, looking at them, seeing what your progress is an extremely valuable part of building a successful photography business or any other kind of business, and it's also terrific for your personal life as well.
All right, thanks everyone for listening and watching, and we will come to you with another Lewis-sized Kick in the Pants motivational video next week. Have a wonderful week. Take action. We'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye.
Bye now.